moment. So, um, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Dalles Chamber Community Affairs. So this morning, our guest is Amanda Evans. She is the director for the Health Foundation portion of the hospital. So we're going to let her give some updates. But before, we're going to do tradition and go around the room, the screen, and introduce ourselves and our agency. And if you promise to keep it short, Dan, you can talk a little bit about your organization because we want to make sure that Amanda has plenty of time for hers. So we're going to start with Dan.
Thank you, Lisa. Dan Spots, Economic Development Officer for the City of the Dalles, and I'll leave it at that. I'll have updates for you in December, one way or the other, on urban renewal.
Great, thank you. And if there's anything that we need to know, put it in the chat also so we can grab it. Scott, you are next.
Good morning, everyone. Scott McKay. I'm the Community Liaison for Circles of Care. We connect volunteers with older adults who need some kind of periodic support, like medical rides or friendly visits. And right now I have two members of Circles of Care who I'm looking for volunteers for. If you know anyone, please just encourage them to go online to Age Plus Circles of Care, and there's an application for volunteers. And since I mentioned it twice before, I'm not going to mention that tomorrow is the Wasco County Ageless Awards at 2 o'clock at the Mid-Columbia Senior Center. So I'm going to skip that today.
Yeah, I heard you completely skip it. So thank you. Corliss Marsh.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Amanda. Corliss Marsh, Habitat for Humanity, Senior Center, and the library, and quilter. That's it.
Busiest woman I know, right there. So, Phil Brady.
Good morning, everybody. Phil Brady, Wasco County Commissioner. Was formerly on the board of MCMC back at the time. So I'm looking forward to see how things are still going on here. Good to see traditions live.
All right, Brian, go ahead.
Brian Tuck, retired and chief babysitter for two very busy little toddlers.
And I know you do a great job. Darcy?
Good morning. So Darcy Long, currently City of the Dalles Counselor and Urban Renewal Chair for a couple more months, and also Empower Financial, now having benefits, supplemental benefits primarily for employers, but also for individuals. And we have a new guaranteed cancer program, guaranteed issue. So if you know a business that might have people who had cancer in the past, they can still get issued a cancer policy.
Awesome, thank you. David Peters?
Good morning, everybody. Dave Peters, Columbia Cascade Housing, Mid-Columbia Housing Authority. We have a few positions still open, but we did fill our executive director, Karen Long, who's been at the agency for over 13 years, had been interim, and now she's our permanent executive director.
Right. Thank you. All right. So the chamber has a ton of different things going on. Check out that community calendar on our website, thedalleschamber.com. We obviously have a parade on Monday for Veterans Day. We have been approved for a flyover, so that's always contingent on nothing happens and they get to fly over with their jets. So that is happening. Parade for Starlight is the 29th. And we have quite a few things in between, including a morning buzz and a business after hours. So I highly suggest you check out Monday's e-blast along with the community calendar. Today is the last day to put entries in for the Veterans Day Parade. So hopefully we have a few more than what we did 2 days ago. We were sitting at 13. So encourage everyone, put a flag on a car. It's easy peasy and it's free to enter. So with doing that, so with that, Amanda Evans, who is our director for the Adventist Health Columbia Gorge Foundation. I know it was a mouthful, but I wanted to get it out there and proper. So Amanda, please, we are looking forward to hearing from you and seeing what is going on with our health foundation.
Unmute. Okay, well, thank you for having me. Before I share the presentation, I'll just share a little bit about my role here. So as you'll know, we were Mid-Columbia Medical Center, and we had a separate organization carrying our own separate 501c3 as the Mid-Columbia Health Foundation. Our mission has not changed, but our name has. So we are now Adventist Health Columbia Gorge and Adventist Health Columbia Gorge Foundation. And we are now part of the hospital, which simplifies some of our accounting, human resources, allows us to do some shared service type things that are really just cost savings, to be honest. So I've been with the foundation for 19 years, a really long time. Worked for Celeste Hill Thomas when she was the executive director. And then when she retired, was offered this position and took it. We've gone from a staff of 5 to now just myself, a staff of 1. So it's a sign of the times, I think. We're all doing the best we can to manage our resources. Even so, we still are continuing to do all of the things that we did in the community. And after I talk a little bit about Festival of Trees, I want to talk about some of those things as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, looks like you can see it. I've got Festival of Trees up there. So we have a theme every year, and that's something that the tree decorators look forward to. The theme this year is Pacific Northwest Christmas. So that's what we're looking at there. Festival of Trees, for those of you who may not have been, is an auction. So we've got a live auction of Christmas trees that are donated by people in the community. Those people can be businesses, organizations, families, individuals, schools. It comes from a whole host of different folks. We have that, and then we also have a silent auction, and the items for the silent auction also come from just anybody who wants to make a donation. We'll put together baskets, we'll take kind of anything that anyone wants to give us and make it work. I have a board of directors who decides what the proceeds are going to go to every year. One of the things that's been really important to us is keeping the tradition of supporting patients who are battling cancer. And that's been the mission of Festival of Trees since it started. So a portion of our proceeds will go to our Celilo Cancer Center Patient Assistance Fund. Another portion will go to something that's not quite as exciting, but very much needed. And that is some sterilization equipment that will sterilize our ultrasound probes. And we need 4 of those. We need 1 in our urology clinic, 1 in our women's health center, and then 2 in our hospital. So again, it's not a super exciting thing to be fundraising for, but very, very important. So that's where our money is going to go this year. The event's going to be on December 6th at the Civic. Since I have known the event for the last 18 years, it has been at the Civic. I do hear that it was at the Parish Center before that. So that's a little interesting piece of information there. The doors are going to open at 6, live auction at 7, tickets are $20, and we serve appetizers. And it's kind of a mix and mingle event. So for the first hour, people walk around, look at the trees, vote for their favorite, have some snacks. And then right at 7 o'clock, we'll start with the auction. That's a live auction. Sean Wilkinson from, he works with Rocky Webb over at, oh gosh, what's the auction sales company. So he volunteers his services for this event and has for years, which is a huge blessing to us. So he'll be there as our auctioneer. Scott Barker, who has Great Scott Productions, he donates the sound equipment for us. So that's also donated, which is wonderful. The catering from the event is going to come from the hospital this year. So we've got a really great chef up there right now. His name's Jerry. Works really hard to do creative local fare. And so he's going to do some charcuterie type cups for us to cut down on infection control. So we're always worried about that as a hospital, making sure we're not spreading illness from one another. So he'll be working on that. And then we'll also be working with Abby from Cobblestone Catering to do 2 luncheons for us. So we do a luncheon on Wednesday when we decorate the trees, and then we do another on Friday for employees who are donors to the foundation. So this first slide, we've got tickets going on sale soon. There's a QR code. It actually should be on sale now, but we're having a little bit of a glitch with our website. So go to the next slide. There we go. I want to mention our sponsors because this event couldn't happen without them. So First Interstate Bank is our presenting sponsor. And basically their sponsorship allows us to have this event. It covers the cost of renting the Civic out, which is the biggest expense. Columbia Gorge Honda and Toyota sponsors the community day portion, which allows us to keep the building open on Saturday mornings so that people can come in free of charge. We've got Santa Claus coming that day for pictures with the kiddos, so that'll be fun. Coca-Cola, State Farm, and Umpqua are also sponsors. Human Investing is an investment management firm that works with Fidelity, and they manage the investments for the foundation, and they're very, very generous to us. They sponsor every single one of our events. Festival of Trees is one of them. And then Jorge Barragon Jr. at Columbia Gorge Real Estate is also a sponsor. So we've got really great support. Happy to have all these folks helping us. So the foundation wasn't the original owner of Festival of Trees. Festival of Trees was a community group of volunteers who put together this event at first. And I don't know what year that was. I looked back and really, really tried to find that, and I couldn't find it. I know that it was at least, I want to say like 10 to 12 years before the foundation took the event. So in the beginning, it was volunteers who were putting together this event. They were recruiting, they were reserving the space, they were running all of the auction stuff that had to happen. And it grew so large that it was kind of out of control for volunteers to manage. There needed to be somebody in charge who was paid and like really focusing some energy on this event because it just kept growing. So it takes about 35 volunteers to pull this event off. And it's a 4-day event. A lot of people don't realize that. So the first day is decorating, and that's where we have the tree decorators come in. They bring all their things upstairs, and we've got Christmas music playing, and there's a table that's got, hot glue guns and wire and ribbon and all kinds of things. And then people bring their decorations and decorate their trees. It's really a big party. And then and that happens on a Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we clean everything up, and we have our hospital volunteer appreciation party that afternoon. And it's kind of a preview for them. A lot of those folks tend to have some mobility issues. So this is a great time for them to come into the Civic and not be crowded with like the masses of people that come to the auction, to be able to really enjoy themselves. So that happens. And then we go home and we get ready for the big day. Day 3 is when we have our employee donor luncheon. We've got a program here and we call it Club 26. And that is where employees sign up to donate from their 26 pay periods a year to the foundation. We have got, it's about 33% of our employees that donate to that. And I'll tell you guys, that's huge because the national average is about 17%. So we're blowing it out of the water with our employees who really, really care about patients and the community and donate. They put their money behind it. So that's huge for us. And then of course we have the gala and the live auction, which is a fun dress up party. If you've never been, please do come. It's just a ton of fun. And even if you spend $20 on a ticket and come, that $20 really helps us with our mission. That's a big part of how we raise money at this event. And then the 4th day, which is Saturday, we do our community day. That's free, open to the public. Bring the kiddos, bring the grandmas, everybody come look at the trees and vote for your favorite. People really love the People's Choice Award. And then Santa will be there and people could just take pictures with their phone and print it. It's really easy. There's no cost. I believe there'll be sleigh rides as well. So have that. And that of course is also free. People always ask how much money does this event bring in? So it's really, really varied depending on year. It can bring in anywhere from 15 to 50,000. It just depends. Last year was our banner year where we brought in 57,000. Which is amazing. That's a huge number for us. And so grateful. And this year, my goal is not quite as lofty. It's 34,000. So I'm nothing if not a realist. And so that's where I've set the goal. Plans for the future. People say this all the time. They'd love to see there be a sit down dinner. I think that's a great idea. I think it would require a larger location. If any of you have been to Festival of Trees, you know it's like standing room only. It's very, very crowded. I would really like to include an opportunity for local businesses, schools, organizations, people to partner together on a tree, because sometimes it can feel daunting to donate an entire decorated tree. So some way where we can say, okay, the theme is a blue Christmas. Everybody bring something blue to put on this community tree, and then auction that tree off in the auction as well. So those are some of my ideas for the future. This event is touching to a lot of people. So a lot of our tree donors donate because it kind of fills a space in the memory of a loved one that they lost during the holiday season. So we have families who every year it's in memory of grandma. We have one family who does Kathy's tree every year, and that's in memory of their grandma Kathy. And it's therapeutic for them. They all come. It's kind of like a family reunion. Everybody's there to help. And then they get to see that benefit other people through the auction and being those funds being donated. And then oftentimes the trees that are purchased at the auction are also donated out in the community. So I think every year we have at least one tree go to the veterans home, Flagstone, usually Columbia Basin, typically the library. I'm sure Corliss has had to meet us there before to make sure we can get the tree in the door. There's just and the next door has received a tree, and also the Yes House. So we help our donors figure out where their tree can get the most love, because oftentimes these are people who want to come and help, but they don't necessarily need another Christmas tree, and they want it to go somewhere else. And so we make that happen. And that's probably more than 50% of the people who buy trees do that, which is just a testament to the amazing people in our community.
Amanda?
Yeah.
On this note, are you saying that the buyers of the trees choose where the trees go, or? Okay.
Yeah, so a lot of them do. A lot of them know where they want the trees to go. Chris Zukin always buys a tree and always donates it to the veterans home. So that's something that always happens. But there are other people who don't really know. They're not really sure where they want the tree to go. And so we have a
someone in
list.
that don't know situation. I'm considering the annex.
Yes, that's a great idea. Absolutely. I will
they
add
have a
them to my
place
list.
there that's under the top deck. That would be nice. Yeah.
Yes, about and that would be Kenny that I would contact to make sure. Okay. I'll do that. That's a wonderful suggestion, and I'm sure that there will be somebody who wants to do that too. So.
And this is Brian. Even the Gloria Center would be also a good example. That's all part of that whole program. So the CAC.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely give them a call. I love that. Thank you, guys. And any other?
Yeah, we even shared a tree. So Chris Zukin brought it to us so that we could, before we closed for Christmas, so we could have everybody who was coming in enjoy the tree, and then it went to the veterans. So we shared a tree one year. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah. And so we deliver the trees, and then I don't think we did in your case, Lisa, but sometimes we'll even go and move the tree to somewhere else when those things happen.
Our staff did it with Zukin. So yes.
Thank you.
We did.
Thank you. Yeah. So we actually use, this is another interesting thing. We also use U-Haul. So we actually rent U-Hauls, put the trees in the U-Hauls, and then deliver them to the locations. And we use volunteers to do that. So I have two sons that are 20 and 21, and they get to do that, whether they want to or not. And then other people in the community also volunteer to do that. And I would love to have your guys' ideas and thoughts on this. So if you have anything, please jump in. And if not, I want to move on to my next slide, which isn't really about Festival of Trees, but I still want you to know. So our mission at the foundation is work together with and provide financial support to Adventist Health Columbia Gorge in order to provide access to quality healthcare for our community. And this has been our mission since about 2002. So this is a long-standing mission. The only thing that's changed is the name Mid-Columbia Medical Center. It's changed to Adventist Health Columbia Gorge. And we've identified, so a couple of things. When you're a fundraiser, your job is to find donors who have a passion and connect them with a focus for your need. Well, what is your need that is their passion? And that's what my job is, to connect those. So what we found in this area is that we have kind of 4 focus areas. They are patient assistance, scholarships and training, healthy community projects, and the needs of the hospital. And all of those things combined are how we provide access to quality healthcare. So I'm sure that you can make these connections for yourself, but I will verbalize them as well. So for patient assistance, we spend an average of $85,000 per year. So we fundraise and then we spend this money through several different funds. And there's just a ton of things that we do. So we can buy medications for patients when their insurance doesn't cover it, free mammograms. We provide kits to help folks quit smoking, exercise shoes, blood pressure cuffs, acupuncture treatments, pulse oximeters. And then we get into some things that people oftentimes need to be able to live their healthiest lives, but can't afford. They just can't. Automatic pill dispensers, compression wear. I don't know if anybody has experienced buying compression wear, but they're really expensive. It could be up to $209 about for one leg, and you have two legs. So you need two of these usually. That's a huge cost for people. We've sometimes helped patients with rent, with hotel stays. Fuel gift cards is something we do a lot, the rising price of fuel. Oftentimes it's a burden for people to even get to their appointments. So when we know that that's an issue, the caregivers can identify that and say, hey, I need a fuel gift card. And we partner with Hattenauer, who owns the Sinclair stations, and we buy those gift cards from them and give them out in the community. So we're trying really hard to keep that local and also make sure that patients get where they need to be. We do taxi rides, and for our taxi rides, we use Gorgeous Tours, which is another local company who provides transportation. They do a great job of helping us get patients to and from. Bus tickets, all kinds of things, even things as simple as fire extinguishers. So with our home health program, we'll have caregivers who go into homes and will notice safety issues. So they'll get things like grab bars to make sure that the patient can safely get into their restroom, or wheelchair ramp so that they can get in and out of their home safely. So it's all kinds of really great things that people in the community don't really ever get to know about. And it's a huge focus for us. And it's somewhere that our donors really like to give. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I get to be the person who processes on the back end what people need. And it's really opened my eyes to the diversity of our community and where people are. So it's tough. It's rewarding, but also very tough. I'll move on to scholarships. We also have a lot of scholarships, and this is a focus for some of our donors. The Randy Rood Memorial Scholarship, I have about 40 students in that program per year, and the commitment is $100,000. So it's mostly Gary Rood who funds that scholarship, and it's in memory of his son, Randy, who passed away of leukemia when he was about 23. At that time, Gary was the president and CEO of this hospital. He has moved on since then. He lives in Battleground and still loves this community and comes and does this scholarship with us. So he's stayed invested even though he's not here anymore. Go ahead.
My wife teaches at the high school, AP English, so she's often writing recommendations for students for these awards, and she tracks every year who gets what, and she always gets thank yous for students. We see it's one of the most gratifying parts of being a teacher is to see your students go places and do things, and this scholarship really enables our high-flying students, especially our first generation students, to go where they can go, which is pretty impressive. We got kids going to Ivy League schools from the Dalles.
Yeah. We've got a kiddo at Brown right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Whose family lives in an orchard.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's really, really amazing. So the other amazing part of this is what I get to see on the back end. As the largest employer, a lot of these kiddos come back to this area and work for us.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even count the number of nurses that we have that have come through this program. And then the really great thing is that they have a built-in opportunity to get back to this scholarship through our Club 26 employee giving program. And they do. They really, really do, which is just full circle and amazing to see. So yeah, it's a really cool thing. The same with our Wasco Lodge Scholarship. So the Masons have trusted us with a large chunk of their money to run this scholarship for them. And they've grown their program every year. They're up to 6 students a year at $18,000. And they do an interview process that is really, really great. Like they really talk about why this scholarship is important to them and what it means to give back to the community in that interview. And it's leaves a great impression on the kids. They write letters about how they feel really supported and feel like their community cares about them. So that's always really great to see. We have another scholarship that's awarded every other year to a student who's going into some kind of medical field. And that really ranges. I mean, there's been people who have wanted to be an EMT and they've gotten that scholarship. So it's not like you're going to end up working at a hospital. It just is somewhere in the realm of healthcare. And then we have 3 nursing scholarships. And we support 10 to 15 students every year with those nursing scholarships. And a lot of those nurses come back to work here. Some of them don't. Last year, we had 13 graduates from the nursing program at CGCC, and all 13 of them signed on to work at our hospital. So we're really excited about that partnership and how that's working. And this scholarship is just one way we can help those folks get through school. The next area of focus for us is healthy community projects. We spend about $56,000 a year, and that's just an average over the last several years. And this is through our, we have a grant program called the Area of Greatest Need, and it's given 2 times a year. It's selected by my board, and it's up to $5,000. So we've just done tons of awards. Let's see. Very recently, we did AEDs for the Little League and also for Do for School. We did a cardiac monitor for the Wasco County Sheriff's Office. We helped with the elevator project at the senior center. So there's all kinds of things that we do with that community outreach money. We also, our Women's Giving Circle is this group of women who pay a membership fee every year, and then they vote at the end of the year where they want to give those dollars. And that's a huge gift. It can be up around $10,000. And they've supported the Next Door, the community backpack program, the Yes House, all kinds of things. The community college, they've done lots of different things with that money. And it's really a great process to see them looking in the community at where the need is and then figuring out how they want to apply those dollars. And I have no input in that. I listen. My role is to make sure that it's legal. I have to make sure that we give the money legally. But other than that, it's the people who are in the giving circle who make the decision on where those dollars go. So we've got pictured here down in the corner, that's the backpack program, which I'm sure you all know about, and is one of my favorite things about our community, again, is the amount of food that is going out to kiddos who are in need. And then the top picture is a picture of our Festival of Trees toy drive, which benefits kiddos in our foster care system. So that's been a huge push every year too with Festival of Trees, and we'll do that again this year. And then the hospital needs, we've done some really, really cool things. One of them is our linear accelerator, which is our biggest project. And our linear accelerator is the machine that delivers radiation to cancer patients. So we actually just celebrated actually not just, it was a while ago. In April, we celebrated the linear accelerator's 1-year birthday. And we had a little celebration with birthday cake and invited patients to come up. And that was a very cool thing to see, very well received. So we're doing a ton in the community still. And I really just, if I have one message today, it's that Festival of Trees is still alive and kicking. We're doing it. We're going to make it the best it can be. And then also that our hospital is still here doing the same great work we've been doing with the enhancements that being a partner with Adventist Health allows us. So there's really good things happening. And just know that the people who are there and working and caring for you really, really care about this community. I'm going to stop sharing. And then I'm happy to answer any questions, but also there's time left. And if anybody else wants to share, I'd love to open it up.
Amanda, as being part of the hospital at the time we transitioned away from OHSU and into MCMC, there was always concern like, is it still going to be a community hospital? Is it and you're right at the heart of keeping that spirit that this is a community hospital for the Dalles. The point I was making is, yes, we have, with Adventist here, we have healthcare that is local, and you're putting that local as we are the local community caring for each other. So thank you for what you're doing. I also want to put out, at the time Adventist came in, they pledged to down the road build a new hospital down on Kramer Field, and I want you to know I'm working to make Kramer Field available and to save that space for the hospital. In fact, this Friday, and going out to the 159 acres with Gorman, right? David Gorman, who's president of Friends of the Gorge. Which David, right? Kevin Gorman, who's president of Friends of the Gorge, and with Mike Ballingers, we're going to give him a tour and show him this will be a great place to have recreational facilities. It'll free up the Kramer Field for the hospital, and the hospital site can become housing. We'll take care of a lot of needs in our communities with putting the facilities in the right places. So I just want to keep that spirit alive too.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Second, everything that Commissioner Brady said, every point. Go right on. Amanda, thinking out loud, always dangerous, and not speaking on behalf of the college, which I transitioned from there to the city a year and a half ago now.
Mm-hmm.
But I know there is an urgent need for workforce training, paramedic and mental health counseling, and I know this is on the radar at Dr. Lawson at the college. I just kind of wanted to plant a seed there in terms of potential partnerships when you talk about training. Look to the college. I know you do already, but just to emphasize that particularly with passage of their bond measure, that should open up some resources for them to put into training programs as well as the facilities that they need of their facility upgrades. Again, I'm not speaking on their behalf, but I know the issues pretty well. And I don't know which of those comes first. There's a need for all of them. Ag tech is another one, but paramedics throughout the gorge. So I think that's a common ground between you and the college, and hope we can keep that one in mind.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we are. We've been trying to partner with the college anywhere we can. I know we did we called it a grow your own MA program, medical assistant. And we did that kind of separately from the college while the college was also doing their MA program. And now we're doing it again, and we're partnering with the college, and we're seeing a much greater number of applicants. And we're also seeing some really natural partnerships that could be made in the realms of like lab tech training and even like things like sonography. So there's definitely a lot of room to partner. And I believe that our administration here at the hospital is really wanting to embrace that and really open to it. So I'm excited about where we're going to go with those partnerships.
Excellent. Thank you. That's good to know, especially about the MA program. I'm glad
Yeah.
that's a combined now again with the college.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll do the book work, the in-class work will happen at the college, and then we're offering paid internships at the hospital.
Oh,
Actually,
good.
at the clinics. We're doing it in the clinics specifically. So yeah, that should be a really great thing for the hospital and the college and really the students. So that's who's really going to get a lot out of this.
Very good. Good to
Mhm.
know. Thank you.
Yeah. Mhm.
So this is also fair play. You get to ask us questions too, Amanda.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you can focus in on anyone except me. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I'm actually curious about the library and what's happening there. I'm wondering if Corliss has anything to share.
I'm sure she does.
The library is the happening place in town. We just had the festival for Day of the Dead, and it was just wonderful. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I'm sure we had 1,000 people through there.
Wow.
The kids had their face painted, and we had a bounce house and Hispanic music, and it was great. It was so we have activities almost every day there. There's something going on. There's a book group going on, or there's a speaker or whatever. I'm taking a holiday ukulele class there, and so no, there's everything going on at the library, and we'd love to have a partnership with the hospital somewhere. New bookmobile, going to be out on the road as soon as we can get it, and so yeah,
That's
things
great.
are happening.
That's great to hear. Lisa, I'm also curious about the Distinguished Citizens Award, and I know you had talked about moving that. So will you fill me in?
Yes, we are waiting for one last piece of confirmation, but we are tentatively moving it to September. And this year it falls on, which we're super excited about, September 11th. And so our whole theme is our first responders and our heroes, and giving back to our community and honoring 9/11 and those it took to get through that. So we're hoping for a lot of military presence. We're looking at color guard presentation, all those different things. We'll be doing the same awards, but we're shifting it to where there's no snow or no ice to cause a delay in our event. That is really wreaks havoc on the caterers when you have all the food the day before, and then all of a sudden you have an ice storm and you have to move it a week or so later. The food is no longer usable. So it's just, we decided to shift it out of the bad weather season. And we picked date in September according to where all the other events sat. We did research for the last 2 years. I know it's still going to be on top of an event because that's the way the Dalles works. But we are waiting for one last approval from the Readiness Center, making sure that there is no military honors or events going on that day. But they love the idea and they want to make sure that their people are present at this event. And so we want to really call honor to those that are served in that capacity, besides all of our other community members. We feel like for the move, that's a great way to kick off a new time of year that this event's going to happen. So it's still our Distinguished Citizens Award banquet, and we hope everybody will come. And as soon as we have confirmation from the military, that's our last piece, is the actual military themselves, then we will put that out there. So the facility is available. We just need to make sure some of the military people are available too. So, but yes, that we decided to move it, and hopefully in September, we don't have to cancel, move, or reschedule due to snow or ice. Hopefully, God, no. But yes, you are right. We are moving that to that. As soon as we have confirmation in the next couple of weeks, then we'll start putting out on our website. You can go and fill out digitally for nominations. So we'll be collecting nominations for at least 6 months, so that way people have a chance to really gather information. And we have a full-fledged nominees to pick from for those awards and recognize them in our community. So yeah, we're excited. We kind of got all goosebumpy around our office when we realized what date it was. We were picking by Thursdays and the time of the month, and then we realized it was 9/11. And we're like, oh, this is supposed to happen. So we all kind of got patriotic and goosebumped in our office. All of us have military in our family and first responders. So we just think this is so appropriate to be able to honor them in that fashion. So yeah, there we go. Sorry, I still get goosebumpy.
I love that. I think that's great. I'm really excited for it. It's one of my, you guys do such a great job with that event. It's one of my favorites to go to.
And
So,
we're happy to honor somebody still from the philanthropy.
oh, great. Thank you.
Yes, philanthropic, philanthropy, all of those words. Thank you so much for making me say those from the stage. So we're still hoping that we can honor for you a couple people in that area and really just bring that. It fits. It all fits. So
It does. Yeah.
we're super excited.
I have one question, Amanda.
Mhm.
as far as the patient support, those requests come from the social workers at Adventist who make those requests, such as transportation or some kind of grab bars or that type of thing. I'm just curious because with Circles of Care, we get several requests for transportation, and we're able to do that, and that's part of our role, is to help folks get to the medical appointments, and especially if they're out of town. A lot of times we've had help people get up to Water's Edge for whatever doctor's appointments are, and we have worked with the social workers at Adventist, and that's been a good relationship. But just kind of curious how that system works.
Yeah, so what's really great is we have this community of people, and they're called community health workers and patient navigators, and we have social workers. We also have people called social support specialists, and they all do the type of work that you're talking about. So what happens is whoever has contact with the patient, it could be the physical therapist, occupational therapist, the doctor, the MA, whoever it is knows that there's a need. It's really interdisciplinary. So they communicate that to the community health worker or patient navigator, whoever it is in that clinic. And then they let them do the arranging of those things that are not really healthcare, but are wraparound services that they need to access healthcare. So it can be the social worker, but it oftentimes doesn't start there. It could be the receptionist. It could be the person that you talk to when you walk in and you say, gosh, I'm so sorry I'm late. I was waiting for the bus and that was my last bus ticket. And then that's going to cue that person to say, this person maybe needs help with bus tickets. I'm going to let the MA know. And then that team really works together to make sure that they're meeting those needs. And that's how we find out about those kind of obscure things that people sometimes need to stay healthy, like their grab bars. If we're not there for home health reasons, we don't know that they need that. But oftentimes they'll say, like, I fell in the bathtub. Okay, well, now we know you need some support in the bath. So whoever gets that message works with us to fill that need. They fill out a form, the form comes to me, and then I typically would make the purchase. So it's a great system. It happens like within a day. It's really quick most of the time. And I'm really glad to hear that Circles of Care is working on those same kinds of things too, especially the transportation.
And I think back, maybe 30 years ago, when a navigator was kind of a new idea, and I'm thinking, how did people survive back then when they just were released from the hospital, but did not have the services to help support them, so they wouldn't have to come back to the hospital. But that's been a great innovations in healthcare these days.
Yeah, I think it is too. And I mean, patient assistance is huge for us. Like I said, we spend at least $50,000 a year, sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but it's a lot. There are a lot of people, and there are people who need support beyond what I can imagine. So there are people, for instance, who, let's say you have a cancer diagnosis, well, you're having chemo and radiation and your stomach hurts, and what you really need is protein shakes. And those are expensive if you've ever bought one. So we're buying protein shakes by the case and giving them out to patients as they're coming in because that's what they need. It's a great thing to be able to do. And it really, like I was saying, it starts from the ground up. When you walk in the door, there are people whose job it is to care for you, no matter what their role is. And they have their eyes open. They're looking for those needs. And Scott, while you're on, I would love to know more about Circles of Care. I'm not really familiar with that.
We'll make some time to get together.
Okay.
Scott, I think you need to probably get Amanda's favorite drink, like a coffee or a tea, and then you go have some time and explain Circles of Care to her with a treat. Yes.
Yep, I can do that, and I'll pay for the coffee.
Well, I know you'll do any excuse for a treat, so yes. No, it's an amazing organization. I will tell you, Amanda, he shared a lot with us and what they're doing for our community and the members that they help and assist, and then even just the volunteers engaging. It is an amazing service that they provide. And I love that Scott's heart won't let him stop, keep on volunteering. So we need more. We need a poster, be like Scott, because you do a lot for our community and we do appreciate all that you do. We do. So, any other questions, comments? Okay, just because we are event driven, I put our events into the chat. Veterans Day, Starlight Parade, Morning Buzz, and Business After Hours. This is all happening before Thanksgiving. Well, Starlight's the day after, but all the rest of them are before Thanksgiving. So please take a look, be engaged. If you have a person on your staff or your team that is really good at engaging, send them. I know Amanda's a one-woman show over here, so she can only do so much, but maybe a volunteer would come and be there on behalf of the Health Foundation, just to stay connected and keep people in touch with what's happening there. And so all of those are different opportunities for you to be a part of. And of course, after the Starlight Parade is the community tree lighting right here at the chamber, and there will be hot cocoa, cookies, coffee, and popcorn. So it's always the fun, just kind of that kickoff for the season. And I'm going to do my little segment. I better see you shopping local, supporting local, being local, dining local, playing local, because our businesses need it now even more than coming out of COVID. They have hit that economic difficulty. We have businesses that don't know how they're going to do it this winter. We need to kick it in, and we need to make sure that we share with our neighbors. This is not the time to shop online. This is time to adjust our shopping list and support local, and be there for our businesses so they're there in the spring. I know that doesn't sound all cheerful, but it's real. And I'm just going to be out there. I'm just real. So I want to see all those local shops, all those finds, unless they're a gift. You don't want to reveal what it is. But I would love for you guys to share on social media, if you can, just your favorite, what you did, a good experience, because all of that helps our community. All of that helps and goes further. So there's my little get on my rock and tell you what you need to do. But 24/7, 365 days a year, not just November and December. And if you need help, I'll be glad to help you shop for your shopping list. Bet you I can send you all different places and help you fulfill that. But if we don't have any more questions, we can gladly give 10 minutes back to every person in their day. I know we are all crazy busy at this time. But I first want to say, Amanda, thank you. Thank you for all you're doing, going through that transition and being with this organization for so long. I know the passion is there and I know the care is there. So we appreciate carrying out this mission of caring for our community. We do really appreciate you and all that you do. And I'm looking forward to an amazing festival trees. Can't wait to see what we have. I've heard a couple rumors of some people doing some trees, so I'm excited to see what it is. And it's just fun to knowing that we're supporting all those different causes that helps and returns around and just helps our community directly. So with that, thank you everyone. There's a ton of going on. Check out tdcommunitycalendar.com. I guarantee you can't get it all done. If you do, come talk to me. I'll take you out to dinner. So locally. Anyway, everyone have a fantastic day. And thank you again for all being here. Appreciate each one of you.